I'm Cristi Marrero, editor-in-chief of the Americano and Floricua, and I'm here joined today with Lilliana Vázquez. She is e-entertainment host and also the founder of LV Guide. Thank you so much for being with us today, Lilliana. And I also have another great friend of mine, Ana Flores, CEO of We All Grow Latina. So thank you so much for joining the conversation. This is such a crucial moment for us. It always is, I feel, for Latinos, but it is a crucial moment for Latinas. How do you guys feel about the current narrative surrounding what it's called the Latino vote? I'm going to start with you, Liliana.
Sure. I saw this beautiful example on Twitter talking about plátanos, right? So like you give someone who is Hispanic or Latinx a plátano and you're like, how do you like it? Well, I guarantee the way I like my plátanos is different than the way Cristi likes her plátanos and the way Ana likes her plátanos. Ana, I don't even know if you like plátanos, okay? But that is the simplest way that I can make people understand that there are thousands of ways to prepare this one dish and not every Latino likes them. And that's exactly how I think of us as a community. And we don't get to be all lumped into one, like Cristi, you said, shoebox. That's just like assuming that every white voter votes the same way. Now, we know that they don't because our mainstream media and our news gives them the opportunity to showcase who they are as voters. You have your suburban white woman voter. You have your professional white woman voter. For men, you have your stay-at-home dad voter. So if we can do that for our white counterparts and we can do that for our Black counterparts, why don't we take the same care and attention and respect for our Latinx voters, who, by the way, are the second largest voting cohort in this election that just passed? So
and let me tell you something. Let me add something to that, Liliana. It happens that the numbers that we just got this morning from X Labs and Latino Decisions, people who are working real hard to change the narrative and actually by showing data, is that the Latina women between 18 and 29 years old in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Florida are actually the biggest cohort of voters this year. So that alone, I mean, this is why we're having this conversation. How do you feel about that, Ana? Tell me, because you're on the West Coast and you understand Latinas better than many people that I know.
So many feelings. I mean, I've been navigating through so many feelings. And I guess the first one was like, we've been telling you so, right? It's like having to shout this out. Like, what else? We've been over here saying, hey, we know. And we know the power that we have. We knew that we were going to show up. And yet there was no investment in us. And that's been really where I went to see the narrative shift and really the awakening more than the narrative at this point, because yes, a narrative is very dangerous right now because it is demonizing who we are by not focusing on the reality of where we made an impact and we still don't know exactly the numbers. And I know the data is coming out, but it's going to be much deeper and it's really going to help us shift that narrative.
That's absolutely right, Ana. And, you know, it's a few words that come to mind: underrepresentation, investment. Like there has to be, the money has to be there. Is there a word, a term? And I know, Ana, you're really great at this because it's a lot of what you guys do at We All Grow. Is there a term or a word that will make you feel more included, happier, rather than Latino vote or the Latino vote?
You know what? I think we have to workshop this one. It's really hard because it's not even up to one of us to figure that one out, right? Even when we say Latinos and Black, it's in a way, it's like you're erasing the Afro-Latinos, right? So it's complicated. We are indigenous, we are trans, we are queer, we are Black, we are Asian, we are white. We're so many things. And then we also come from different countries. We eat plátanos in a different way. And yet what I'm always trying to find when I'm trying to get to that word is, what is that one thing that at the end of the day brings us together?
And that it doesn't feel like a marketing term also, because I think that's where the whole Latino thing started. Now we have Latinx. Some people like it, some people don't. Liliana, do you have any ideas?
We have data overload, okay? Sometimes I'm watching this and I'm like, are they making this up? How do they know so much? So if you know that much about historical elections and you have that kind of wealth and depth of knowledge when it comes to data, you can tell me exactly where that vote is coming from. So just insert one more word. Don't say the Latino vote. Say, you know, voters that identify as Mexican, voters that identify as Puerto Rican, because if they start to do that, then the people at home who don't have a lot of Latinos in their life or don't live in Latino neighborhoods can say, oh my gosh, they're not all the same. If we're going to get specific and break down a county by 300 votes, you can get specific and break down an entire culture. Like, we can do that.
Arizona, so far, 600,000 of those votes, Latino vote. Wisconsin, 100,000 votes. Nevada, 235,000 votes. Pennsylvania, 290,000 votes. This is historic numbers for Pennsylvania, which everybody is like, you know, waiting to see. So, you know, Georgia, 160,000 Latino votes. So again, the geographic location of Latinos should not be the only conversation we're having, but it definitely has to be part of it, right? We have to understand that migration has shifted and people live in different places and people want different things. I think Arizona is the perfect example of how when people organize, people win. And like Ana always says, when one grows, we all grow. So, you know, can you close with something? How do you feel about that? And how can we use this as a case study for other states as well?
Oh gosh, I feel incredibly hopeful. I want to run to Arizona and hug each one of them because they have proven exactly what we have been saying all along, right? That once we recognize our power and once we have some type of support, that's all we need. Actually, we really just need the validation. And with that, the funding that we continue talking about, because we can, of course, we have the capacity, the knowledge, the wisdom, the sisterhoods, the brotherhoods to create our own rooms, to manage and to run those rooms and to make a real difference in this country. But we need allyship.
How do you feel, Lilliana?
No question. I mean, 2 words, Máxima Guerrero. Look it up. You can see, I mean, if people don't understand the power of this community, and when I say community, the value of community to the Latinx voter, consumer, whatever you want to put at the end, like, look up what she did. I'm not even going to say the sheriff's name, but you keep hearing Maricopa County and you know what he did in Maricopa County. And you see what Máxima did as someone who is undocumented and unafraid. Those two, she's a hero. She is a national treasure and she is a hero. And when you see what she was able to do in her community, which then expanded to a bigger community and a bigger community, there's this domino effect that happens because as Latinos, nothing is more important to us than our communities.
We are organized and we are ready. We just need the support and we just need the visibility. And so thank you so much for being part of this conversation. It's always a pleasure to be with you both. I learned so much from you and thank you for all the work you do.